Hello, friends. It's John Clan Third of episode 175 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, the premier Kitty Pryde Lockheed and Magic podcast. And we're going to review Wolverine and Kitty Pryde issue 1, deep dive into New Avengers volume 1, number 8, and then talk about the rest of the issues that came out last week. So let's get into it. And this is acknowledging today's May 4th. May the 4th be with you, which is fun. I woke up like I'm gonna make some type of TikTok video, and then I never did. As I don't really own that many Star Wars stuff, so no, I like the movie is fine. Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 fine. Um, I guess me saying the word fine a bunch implies just anyone who grew up in the 80s. The original trilogy pretty great. I really enjoy Revenge of the Sith. I really love how it bridges, the third and fourth movies, and new trilogy seemed okay enough. Though that middle one, I'm pretty sure I did lose track of what the plot was, but I should go back and revisit that. I like the Lego games; those are good. These are my Star Wars thoughts. Um, yeah, I remember in the '90s when they got remastered in the theaters, and that was exciting. And then, of course, today is the Sunday after Free Comic Book Day. So thank you, Kelly's Comics in Great Falls. Totally worth the hour and a half it takes to drive there. And then uh I had a list of back issues. I wanted to get Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe. That wasn't there. I wanted to get the Phil Noto Immortal X-Men cover with the Cape Pride Quiet Council variant. That wasn't there. There was two others that were there, but I was like, well, maybe it's the one I wanted. Though knowing my brain, I wouldn't want to get the other ones because then I'm like, well, I got three. Where's the other eight? Um, no, the other nine, right? 12-member council? Yeah. Um, or did he draw every single person who was ever a quiet council member? I don't know. I only want the Cape Pride one. What else was I looking for? I was looking for Scar the Spider 18 because I have 17, and it's irritating. I don't have the second part of that. I wanted Rocket Raccoon and Groot issue 10 that has Gwenpool in it talking to Kitty Pryde, who's Star-Lord at the time, and they she makes a fun Bendis obsession joke, and Kitty's like, I don't know what Bendis is. Um that wasn't there. I think those are the four. Psylocke issue 6 was there, so I got that. I got the traditional regular cover, I believe. I got X-Men 10. Uh, this has a gorgeous magic variant by a Linux. I got the Phil Noto X-Men 13 um with the Cyclops and Magic on the police lineup. Does that have an official word? I don't think so. So that was fun. I got every X free comic book as Kelly's Comics not only lets you grab the comics you want and there's no limit. No, like grab one at a time. But I also picked up just the bag. Like they're great about just having bags of all the books. That was pretty great. And so I was very happy to get my Fantastic Four and X-Men title. I went solo, so I did grab Walker Minecraft manga. And then um and then I really wanted Legends of Dark Claw and the Dark Claw animated because I sold those years ago and it bugs me that I don't have them. And so, but I found the Bruce Wayne Agent of Shield. It was the only Amalgam title I found. Thankfully, I didn't own it, though I did back in the day. But I gotta hit up eBay once the summer is over. Summer is usually a little tight. Personally, the election for the school board is on Tuesday, so my brain's running wild. Me only getting 50 votes and like being devastated, coming in dead last by a bunch, but. Maybe I'll get a decent amount of votes. but still be last, but a respectable last, or I win it, and then that'd be exciting. Um, these are the options. I mean, I guess worst case will be coming in fourth because it's a six-person candidates and three of them get seats. So, to be so close, I'm just now realizing is a third option. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot going on this weekend and what's coming up this week. And Wolverine and Kitty Pride. Um, I got at Kelly's Comics the one with the legendary Kitty Pride in the roller skating by Todd Nolick, one of my favorite pencilers. Speaking of which, a moment to remember Jackson Butch Geist passed away on Friday. Um, I'm doing New Avengers Volume 1 8 for as part of my two-part Thunderbolts month. I don't know when we're gonna watch that movie. I've been successfully able to dodge spoilers, but I'm not sure we're watching it. I don't think we're watching it Mother's Day weekend. Um, and so maybe the week after that, but I don't know. It'd be nice to watch it soon enough. I do appreciate the internet just being cool about it, because I am wondering if I'm right about the asterisk being Dark Avengers, but am I wrong? I don't know. Even that one, I thought for sure. And whenever I'm on TikTok, someone thankfully puts a caption of Thunderbolts, and I'm like, nope. Um, but yeah, so yeah, hopefully we can watch it soon enough, though. That'd be nice. But I got this one, and then on eBay, I got the Marcus Toe variant cover with Lockheed on it, and then, which I'm so happy, um, the Pride month of exceptional, or the Pride cover for Exceptional X-Men is actually Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, so I feel like vindicated that I chose the right cover for that. Um, which if you're looking for a fun account on Twitter or Blue Sky, Daily Lockheed is an account I discovered that I curated. And that account probably could use some more follows because I'm following the Daily Kitty Pryde, the Daily Ileana, and the Daily New Mutants. I did see there was a Daily X-Men, but I probably should follow it just to get everything. But I was like, you know what? Someone should make a Daily Lockheed. And then I was like, you know what? I have ideas for that. And so, I'm gonna, and then so through DCBS, I'm also getting just one of the Alan Davis cover. So I'm gonna get three copies of this, which I'm pretty happy about. Oh yeah, the upper cover corner says iconic variant edition by Todd Nock. So that's fun. I appreciate that they're putting artist names on these covers because it's hard to tell what they are. Oh yeah, the Magic X-Men one doesn't have it, neither does the Noto one. So spoilers for this comic and all the comics I'm about to talk about. This is written by Chris Claremont. Artist is Damian Codicio. Carlos Lopez is the color artist, and letter VC's Ariana Maurer. Editors note this series takes place between the events of Kitty Pryde and Wolverine 6 and Uncanny X-Men 192. Thank you, editor, who's most likely Mark Bassel. Oh hey, Tom Brevoort's credit is conductor of X. That's fun. I wonder if he's always conductor of X. When Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, followed her father Carmen to Japan, she got more than she bargained for. The psychic assassin Ogun, a former teacher of Logan, aka Wolverine, captured her, training her, exerting his psychic influence on Kitty to transform her to his private assassin. Wolverine killed the evil Ogun, freeing Kitty, but is next for the ninja-trained mutant teenager. Oh, I skipped this because I didn't really need the recap, but the ninja-trained mutant teenager. What does that remind you of? And it should be acknowledged that this is a sequel series to Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, and so it's a fun. sequel title where you flip the titles. Um, during the heyday of the Fox movies, and once we got the Wolverine Japanese movie, the Wolverine, there was a part of my heart that was like, well, now that you did Japan, you should make Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. Like, let's get a Kitty Pryde movie going, everybody. And then it turns out Bendis was literally tasked to make a Uncanny X-Men 143, the Christmas Eve Nagari movie. And I was like, that would have been perfect with New Mutants. And then, you make a third one of those, and then you have a trilogy of horror X-Men movies. Like, it would have been a shame. Because even growing, like, once we started getting superhero movies, I'm like, just make a Spider-Man Morbius movie and take advantage of all the Twilight fever. Or make a Doctor Strange movie during the whole Harry Potter era. Like, it's not that hard to make movies, everyone. It's expensive, though, but. And so, Tokyo, Japan. And so I like the idea of the series is going to be what I'm under the impression the series was going to be was Katie got those skills from Ogun, who pretty much just downloaded them in her head. And then this series was supposed to show like, no, those skills she's earned, she's copied them, and those are all now instinctively her skills. Like, yeah, she was given them easily, but now she's had to earn them. And so Logan is not attacking, but training with Kitty, who's having a very rough go of it. Carmen is very awkwardly watching it and wishing his baby girl was not being taken through all these moves. And actually, it's not Logan who's attacking her, it's Yukio. So it's always fun to see Yukio. Kitty's in a blue unitard, which I like the idea of her just because in issue 5, she established her new Shadowcat look with like a big old blue sweater and blue pants and blue tights. And so, she's moved on from the black and yellow, which at this point, I want Kitty to never be in yellow again. Like, she's way past the trainee look, and she's done the yellow for like decades now. So let's just keep her in blues or red, if you know what I mean. So they're training. Logan steps in, and so they're going to take a break. Carmen tries to talk to her, but she's not having any of his nonsense. And then Yukio pokes Logan and he takes her down because no one's having any fun. Mariko, Logan's adopted daughter, who I'm like, oh, hey, that's right. Um, because her parents died in Uncanny 181 when X-Men and Lockheed showed up and after Secret Wars and Puff, his lady dragon girlfriend, um became, Gaijin, not Gaijin. What's the word for Godzilla size? Starts with a K. But and so to deal with that. But during that attack, unfortunately, Americo's parents died and Logan took her in. And so we see these people are tormenting Mariko's school. One of them's named Kill, which is not like I'm sure the copyright office is like, please don't name your characters words that we had to put Marvel's kill in front of. And then Logan shows up. We see Logan and Kitty Pryde just taking down them. And, and they're just not even communicating. They just instinctively know like the other's going to do their thing and not to get in the way of each other and team up when necessary. And they take them all down, which is great. And then back home, presents are delivered. Mariko gets a cool battle armor suit, with her belt buckle initials being M and L for Mariko and Logan. I keep saying Americo, but it's Amiko. Then Mariko is, of course, Logan's fiance at the time. And then Kitty gets a new costume, which I find interesting. Is she literally just got a costume 2 issues ago in Uncanny or Wolverine or Kitty Pryde and Wolverine 5. But this one has more yellow highlights, a big X belt. And it's also something that's like, well, clearly we know this suit doesn't last because she doesn't ever wear it again. But it's blue and yellow, which I'm like, sure. Has a tunic part to it, has a belt buckle, it has a yellow X with the blue on the inside, and then her top of her tunic makes a yellow X. So I'm like, all right. And so the two girls are just playing around. Carmen reveals that back in World War II, or let's just say a war, him and Xavier worked together. And then Xavier at one point unlocked those memories, which is a fun detail that established that Claremont established back in Excalibur Volume 214. Fun issue. If you see a Carmen Pride character appearance list, you won't see that issue there because apparently that was a mental projection Xavier did for his own benefit. But Claremont here canonizes it, so I'm like, okay, great. Which makes me now want to retrofit that when Carmen agrees to let Emma Frost take Kitty Pryde out of the Xavier Institute and go to the Massachusetts Institute. Uh, it might be Xavier School for Gifted Kids to the Massachusetts Academy. He Like people just assume Emma put a mental whammy on Carmen, but I like the idea that Xavier went, "Hey, buddy, you and me actually have a history." He was like, "Well, screw you! I'm taking my daughter out here. I can't trust you. You're insane." So that'd be fun to get that extra step done. And this is one of those Claremont retro series, so like I don't know if you do this mental game gymnastics of each page, what new information is being revealed, and does it conflict with, the 30 years of continuity later? And as far as I know, this whole thing just matches, except for her costume. Um, but it's going to get torn up or whatever. It goes back to the blue costume from before. It's fine. Uh, Kitty hears a giant snick or a loud snick. It's just lettered loudly. And she runs into Logan and Miracle's room. I do like the thought she's like, if I'm interrupting, I'll laugh later because she hasn't anticipated like, yeah, you're about to. It's like when little Laundra went into to Richard's home and then like Sue screamed and then Johnny ran in the room like, I heard you screaming. Or it's like, Johnny, you might not want to go into your sister's marital room every time she screams. Like, maybe lock this door. Well, with Ben Grimm, those doors had to be like double locked, right? And so we see that Logan and Miracle's room is covered in snow, and it turns out they don't even have a room, they're just in the wilderness. You know, Kitty has a cool samurai outfit that's gold padded, plated, and then blue where the cloth is. Miracle has a green tunic and bow and arrows, and Logan's in a red tunic with like yellow shoulder pads. So I'm like, all right. And there's a lady samurai who's like frozen, staring down at them. So we'll see what's happening here. But I think it's a great first issue. Like, I'm excited to see where it's going. Takes place in an alternate world, so that explains why they can't just get back home. What we do know is that her and Logan are going to show back up and get picked up at the train station. So we know like they're going to get home, everything's fine. Her hair's not going to grow long or anything. And so now we go to New Avengers, Volume 1, Number 8. It's called The Century Part 2. Came out in August 2005. It would have cost 250, and it's T plus for teens and up. Let me skip a couple pages here to the actual credits. Writer Brian Michael Bendis, penciler Steve McNiven, R.I.P. Inker Mark Morales. And then artist for the first three pages, my favorite Spider-Man artist, Sal Buscema, the legend. Colorist Maury Hollowell. And letters Richard Starkings and Comic Crafts Albert Deschesne. And so it opens up with the Sentry Avenger fighting the Super Skrull and other Skrulls. This is apparently written by Perky Paul Jenkins, art by Sassy Sal Buscema, lettered by Rascally Richard Starkings, and Comicraft's comical Albert Deschesne, which I think Paul Jenkins is just being politely credited, but I don't think he actually credited. And you can follow along on both the TikTok and YouTube channels of mine at Jacko SII. Love some new subscribers. We're so close to 575, and then that'll feel great. And then we see the comic that we were reading is actually being read by the Sentry himself, as there's a bunch of military dudes, Captain America's there, Iron Man, and Paul Jenkins in the comic. I know he attended the Thunderbolts war premiere, so that was fun. And Linda Reynolds, because the Sentry's real name is Bob Reynolds. Don't tell that to anyone else. Well, that's just SNFWM exclusive. And so Captain America's just like, Sentry explained this, like, you're a comic book and your Avengers are here, and Paul Jenkins is confused because he's just like, I wrote these books years ago. How are you here? And everyone's just confused because they don't know how he's here. And there's another comic of him getting married to Linda, and all the superheroes showed up as per tradition. And then we get to the recap. And there came a day, unlike any other, when Earth's mightiest heroes found themselves united against a common threat. On that day, the Avengers were born to fight the foes no single superhero could withstand. Stanley presents the new Avengers. The stranger was present the day the new Avengers banded together to oppose a breakout of the superhuman containment facility called the Raft. But who or what this golden powerhouse is remains a mystery. No one's ever heard of him before. He had been locked away by S.H.I.E.L.D. for killing his wife. The Sentry has hidden himself away in a cave in the desert. It is here that Captain America and Iron Man confront him about his true self, along with his miraculously still living wife Lindy and comic book writer Paul Jenkins. Meanwhile, the rest of the Avengers just got their heads handed to them by the Wrecker. Now only Spider-Woman stands between him and freedom. There's an ad here for Sky High, which I want to say I barely watched, but I should go back and watch it because that's a great cast. Kurt Russell's here, Kelly Preston, Michael Agignarno from This Is Us Now, Daniel Penbaker from The Flash, Mary Elizabeth Winstead from Scott Pilgrim, and all the other things that she's been amazing in. Die Hard with a nope, Die Hard and Live Free. Was that what the fourth one was called? And they're so young in this picture where it's like, you guys are insane. Shield had a cover 1 week ago, and Iron Man's trying to get Logan to be an Avenger, but he's like, I'm busy as it is. We see Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Luke Cage, and Captain America in the back. There's an ad here for Spider-Man the Venom saga, so I think Spider-Man 3 is coming out around this time. Today, Long Island, and we see Logan's just being thrashed. The Fantastic Four Activision game is coming out for the PS2, everyone, and Xbox and GameCube. And if I remember correctly, it sort of played like like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, which is a game I love and would play. If they ever remastered X-Men Legends 1 and 2, that would be amazing. And so we see Wrecker trying to hit, about to smash, nope, squash Spider-Woman, which at this point is actually the Skrull Queen, and Bendis knows that, so. And she's just trying to talk him down. Meanwhile, in Arizona, they don't really say which area, part in Arizona, but Arizona represent. And Lindy is trying to find out why Bob left her and why he's where he is and why he doesn't look like the Bob she knows. Lots of questions. And he's just like, I saw you get murdered. Like you had black blood pouring out of your eyes. Like you were dead. I saw it. He killed you. And then in the Century has the power of 10,000 exploding suns. So, he's pretty strong. And so he glows real bright, and then people lose track of where he went. And Lindy just wants to know why her husband is acting the way he is. And then we see Bob Reynolds in non-century form, um, waking up, getting himself a sandwich, and sitting down to watch TV. Well, that's nice. This comic has so many inserts popping out of it where I'm just like, I'm glad comics don't do this anymore. And so Spider-Woman is asking the Wrecker what he wants, and he's like, no one's ever asked me what I want. And she's like, yeah, I don't really care what you want. I'm just distracting you so Logan can claw you. And so yeah, Logan like backflashes him, and then Spider-Woman grabs a crowbar, the Wrecker's crowbar, and smashes his face, and then Luke Cage grabs the crowbar, and then they're just wrecking the Wrecker essentially. And then Spider-Man webs up the Wrecker, and then we get one of the best pages for a while in this series. And Logan's like, fess up. I can feel something coming off of you. Well, don't freak out or anything, but part of my power is I release a pheromone that inspires like you. No, it's just when I'm nervous or charged up, I release a pheromone, and well, basically anything around me kind of feels attracted to me, towards me. Just a chemical thing. I've learned to use it through, got him all mushed up and dizzy. And then there's a silent panel. You know how dizzy I was getting around you? You release a pheromone? Luke Cage is like, well, that explains that damn thing. Damn, I thought I was going nuts. You should have said something, girl. You can't just. And Spider-Man's like, I mean, I love my wife. So he's clearly been having some thought. And then we get to the pages that got me to buy this comic when it first came out. Now, actually, no, during this age, Bendis on New Avengers, I was pretty much like Spider-Man, Wolverine on the team with Captain America and Iron Man. Yes, please. And so the Bob wakes up from a nap. Emma Frost is on his TV, so he's pretty lucky. Robert, it's time to get up now. Hmm? Listen to me, Robert. No one's trying to hurt you. We only want to help you before you hurt yourself. You're in a very dangerous place right now. My name is Emma Frost. I know who you are. Why are you on my TV? I'm not. It's my psychic projection. It's in your head. Just trying to make this as easy for you I can. Make what easy? Robert, it's time to go outside. And Robert goes outside, and he sees pretty much the highest elite of heroes. And Captain America says, we just want to help. And there's Namor, there's a shield hero carrier, shield guys coming out, the Fantastic Four, Thing in shorts, which I prefer a Thing in pants and boots, but that's just me. New Avengers, Spider-Woman, Iron Man, Wolverine, awkwardly nowhere near the astonishing X-Men, which is Emma, Cyclops, Beast, who's on top of Colossus's back, Kitty Pryde, who's um like in a near squat, so she's getting ready to prounce maybe. Doctor Strange, the Inhumans, Medusa, Black Bolt, Corgan and Karnak, and Lockjaw. Which Lockjaw there might explain why everyone's here, but also the helicarrier is there, so who knows how people got here. And Bob's just freaking out. No, 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 no. Now look what you've done. It's coming now. He's coming. I tried to stop it, but you wouldn't let me. This is what he was waiting for. Reed's like, what are you talking about, Mr. Reynolds? Who? And you just see this void contrails coming. The void, he's here now, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And then the next issue we're going to do for the Century is going to be an issue inked by Butch Guice himself. So that'd be nice. Um, just our thoughts, go out to the Guice family. He was the cover artist and pencilers for Micronauts in the X-Men miniseries. He did the cover for two issues of Dazzler, I know for sure. Um, a sensational She-Hulk 26 that has a Excalibur guest appearance. Um, he drew two issues on Kenny X-Men I own. Yeah, every so often he would be the cover art. Oh, Power Pack 19. He was the cover artist for the Thanksgiving issue that has Kitty Pryde and Beta Ray Bill. A couple of other people in it. So yeah, just so we'll do next week a more proper tribute to him. But let's get into these other comics that came out. The spoilers again for these. Doom's Division 2. We find out why Karma joined Tiger Division, that's just now called Doom's Division, and it was to betray the team because they're trying to hunt down Sunfire. And as soon as they find Sunfire, Karma's like, peace. And then she joins Sunfire, and um, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go from here because I was like, why is Karma joining this team? But it was just to make sure Sunfire was doing okay. As I guess him and Japan are resisting Doctor Doom's world takeover, even though we know now that um he just took over because people just let him do it. Like it wasn't like he's doing mind control or anything. MYX10, the final issue, I thought it was a pretty great issue. Like the fall of Cocoa, that was supposed to have like six more months to it or six issues to it. You can tell where some things would have been drawn out. And like most likely we would have gotten a Mojo spotlight issue where it explains why he's a giant being in New York. But I don't know. I'm sort of happy we didn't get those. I mean, I'm sorry I felt with the Fall of X where I'm like, I wouldn't have wanted three more issues of Fall of the House of X and gotten even more information about like, oh, then this guy got taken down, and then this guy, and Rise of the Powers of X, where I'm just like. Sometimes I mean I would have loved to have Krakoa last longer than it did. Like don't get that twisted. But oh, I don't know what TikTok just gave me because I love the Royal Rumble is my favorite WWE pay-per-view. And so every so often TikTok's like, hey, here's some Royal Rumble moments. And then I found out Joe Hendry, um, who I totally believe. I saw a skit of like he's a TNA champion, world champion. But there's a fun little bit where if you say his name, he appears. But they're not saying his name, they're saying the expression say his name, which is not how that typically works. But then he just shows up like out of a closet or behind a couple chairs or from below a table. And then his music comes on and they clap and I don't know. I'm all about this guy. He fought Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I think he's been in two different Royal Rumbles now. I looked it up and WWE and TNA have a partnership where they can trade talent, which is just another example of why Triple H running the company is the best idea ever because Vince would never have done that. Plus Vince is not a good guy. Um, But, he gave us Shane and Stephanie, and I love those two, especially Stephanie. And so, NYX10, they take down Mojo, in a pretty decent story. They get Sink and the other cuckoos together. Um, Mindy doesn't get a spotlight moment, but sure. And yeah, they take him down NYX style. And yeah, and so, Miss Marvel joins the giant size X-Men event. And Laura is going to be in her own series, and then we'll see what happens to everyone else eventually. Rogue Savage 4. I'm really still enjoying the Rogue chemistry with both Kazar and Magneto. And then like a bunch of the Savage Land politics crop up, and I'm just like, I don't know Rogue in the Savage Land. Like I know like she went through the Sears Period and then ended up there in Miss Marvel. Carol Danvers' mind takes over her body, but besides those facts of the story, like I don't have any connection. Like Cerebro, Connor loves, that Zaladane. Oh, speaking of which, the Pete Wisdom episode, um, Connor and Dan Grote from, Comics XF and My Son Pete podcast read my email about asking about Lockheed and Pete. And so he actually even told everyone that I own all the appearances of Lockheed. I was like, hey, he said it because I figured he'll, editorialize it or whatever. But I was like, hey, I do own all those. It's still true, everyone. But yeah. So I've appeared, or I have, I asked Dr. Anna Picard a question on her Amanda Sefton episode, and then P Wisdom. And if I could think of a gatecrasher question that's not just why does she like being called mother when she is mother? Um, which now that I said that, I should just send that in. But because how many gatecrasher questions can you possibly be getting? So if I remember this in the morning, I should send that email. But anyway, so the Rogue Savage Land, I'm just here for the character bits, so sure. And then TVA 5 ended. Um, Gambit and Jimmy Hudson do not get much to do in it, but they're there. It sort of ends on a tease of like maybe the Scarlet Witch. Oh yeah. Scarlet Witch helps take down Nightmare, who's was behind everything, so it's like sure. Pretty much I just want an Exiles book, and the Exiles aspects were pretty great, and the TVA stuff I didn't connect to, so I wasn't really the audience for this book, but it was good. You know, the trade was $10. I'll be like, yeah, $10. Probably worth it. And so yeah, those are the books of last week, and then next week is a giant week. We get let's see here. We get Psylocke 7, like top five current title. Like it's Magic, Exceptional X-Men, Psylocke, Uncanny, and X-Men of the currently going books. Not like the ones that were canceled were high on that list, but still. And then Magic since Psylocke 7, she should be in X-Men 16. And then we get Ultimate Wolverine 5 with Ultimate Sabretooth debut. Oh, I meant to transition this better. There's a trade. One of the free comic book days was the Ultimate slash Amazing Spider-Man issue, and Reed talks about how Miles is his brother from the Ultimate Universe, and it's like, well, Jimmy Hudson's from there too. Like, there's three of you surviving. And someone mentioned how Bombshell is also from there, but I looked into it, and she's clearly when she made the switch over to Secret Wars to the 616 after Secret Wars her brain was rewritten so that she was always in this planet and the world formed around her. So she's not like she's from the Ultimate Universe, but like not her soul, I guess. Like you had to tell her, like, hey, by the way, you were from there. It's like, oh, really? Because I don't think so. He's like, yeah, like from her point of view. Ultimate X-Men 15 comes out. Storm 8, which continues the Thunder Gods. Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider 13 is part one of a crossover with Jean Grey's Phoenix. Laura Kinney Wolverine 6 that has Gabby, Logan, and the whole ideally Jonathan, the most realist of Wolverines. It's Jeff week one, mostly just to see if Lockheed shows up in it. West Coast Avengers 7, and then Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time, issue 2. Just to see if Magic or Kitty or Lucky are in that. If Lucky's in it, I'll buy it, but I think I'm okay with not buying it if Kitty or Magic are in it. Like I do sort of want to keep my collection of just I mean I say that, but I'm doing a monthly DCBS order every time, which I gotta check to see if the May books are available to download because that's gonna be inexpensive. Or the July books are available to order now that it's May. Um, but yeah. Everyone. Those are the books. So when I do my Blue Sky post, it's gonna be pretty heavy. And then I gotta remember to post the new Avengers cover and the wide the double page splash on the podcast's socials at SNFWM accounts which are on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Um, which I would love for the podcast to get more followers, but mostly trying to get the Jacko SII, the flagship, and then of course the website that launches everything. Um, so yeah, that is episode 175, everyone. Big number. And Thank you so much for listening or watching if you're watching on YouTube, and I'll talk to you next time. All right, everyone. Bye.